Hi everyone, it's Nancy Schaefer, Missing Persons Recovery Specialist. I wanted to pop back on regarding the case of Silas Ojeda, which is a missing 13-month-old boy out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. I just did a previous video regarding his case, and I'm sitting here thinking and doing a little bit more research. I don't think at this point it matters, but I was thinking, I was doing a little more research on this gentleman that's responsible for his disappearance, which if you didn't watch the last video, I'm going to just do a brief recap. Silas Ojeda is a 13-month-old child that is presumed, based off of evidence, deceased by the hands of the biological mother's boyfriend. According to the suspect in custody, according to his story, was the child got high on secondhand meth and fell off the counter, but yet remains to not tell law enforcement where his body is. Now, if you watch the other video, you will see that there was a search of the landfill due to decomposition hits on a cadaver dog in a dumpster. And I explained to them why I don't believe that the child is in the dump. I believe that if they didn't find the child in the dump, it's most likely secondhand or what's the terms that they will use? Cross-transfer decomposition. I do know that there was reports of a blanket being found with the little boy's DNA, which is consistent why there would be cross-transfer of decomposition. Now, I want to say that based off the information that I know, if the dogs also hit on a fertilizer pile, I'm going to recap. I was doing some thinking and recapping the people in this area. I want to know the people that live around this particular trailer, if they saw any fires or bomb fires or barrel fires, or if there are any burn pits in the area. First, I want to ask if there's any of his family watching, his biological father's family watching. Please let me know. I know, Amy. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And, one of the reasons why, it hit me so hard is, it is a 13-month-old baby boy. Beautiful, beautiful baby. Was also taken away from the biological mother 3 times by Child Protective Services, but what was placed back in the home, which is, disturbing within itself. I know. Is anyone, particular that contacted our page regarding his case available? That's okay. Is any of his family watching, that's not associated with this particular crime? I know that the biological mother was released. Are you asking me which case case I'm referring to? This is the area of Cheyenne, Wyoming. and it's Silas Ojeda, which is a 13-month-old baby. Thank you, Sally. Sally, okay, Sally, my question is, one thing I want them to try to find out is if anyone in the area saw, and if there's a burn pit around this trailer. I also want to know if there's any, even within a perimeter, I want to say, that's reachable, or also a burn barrel. Joanna, to answer your question, I am the founder of Missing in America, and I am a missing persons recovery specialist. I have 11 years experience into recovering, especially a person that we know is deemed deceased. Due to the, I want to say, I don't know what the experience of the people who are searching, if they're first responders or search and rescue, are, just because they're certified in search and rescue doesn't mean that they know what they're looking for as far as if a person is deemed deceased, which there is enough evidence to believe that this little boy is no longer with us, but his body was yet recovered. And yes, Missing in America is now advocates for this little boy's family, the father, the biological father, and we're going to do whatever we can to assist law enforcement, or to assist search and rescue on areas to search and what to look for. So to answer your question, there's an answer to your question. You know what? I do have a lot of experience in this, and I do have a good recovery history. I never normally go public. We have just recently been going public with our theories, and it's become a good thing, because maybe search and rescue or law enforcement is watching this, and then they can take what I'm saying. They could either take it or leave it, or also the community can keep an eye out. My question I don't believe that this little boy is in the dump, and let me tell you why. The hits in the dumpster was probably due to throwing away belongings. That was maybe the blanket that was surrounding him. It's called cross-transfer scent. So if the baby was deceased, yes, it would definitely give you cross scent transfer, and a dog would hit on the dumpster. Yeah, I know. It's just really heartbreaking. Okay, now my question is to the family, and to the family that's actually cares about this little boy. And I'm going to, I really don't care. I'm gonna say to this biological mother, how can you sleep at night? I want to know how you can sleep at night, that some drug addict is more important than your baby. Tell law enforcement where this baby is, or may God rest your soul. I try to be a God-bearing woman and not judge. But if you have any soul at all, you're going to tell law enforcement where this baby is. And don't tell me that you don't know, because I don't believe it. There was also, in case you guys didn't want to follow, from what I know and what I was told, that there's another child involved in this. I'm not going to give a male or female or whatever, but there was a statement by the biological father of another child that also saw this child with his face bruised up, and told the mother should take him to the hospital. So this is just a cover up, and why this mother is not in jail is beyond me. Okay, I know, Amy. I know I'm right. I always try myself. Every case, I'm like, I've seen it all. No, I haven't seen it all. And I'm not perfect. But my suggestion is to this family that's actually cares about this little boy. I want to know if there's a burn barrel or a burn pit. And if there is, I want you to not go near it or touch it, but contact law enforcement. But my question is, it's been a long time since I've been around a little baby or a person that's a year. Did this baby have teeth? That's one of my questions. Can someone answer a question if this baby had any teeth? Thank you. I see you. Can anyone, did the baby have any teeth growing in or anything? I know some of the things that I say may be disturbing, but it's the only way he's going to be found. The fact that the methods of it, they throw away the evidence in a dumpster and not the child, leads me to believe, I believe that we may be looking for a burn pit or a burn barrel. The only thing is depending, I doubt if he didn't have teeth that they're ever going to prove it. If there was any kind of burn barrel or burn pit, he did have some teeth coming in. As far as how much? What about any what about any burn pits or burn? It could be in the, it doesn't have to be around the trailer. It's just in the vicinity of what he has access to. You're welcome, Debbie. Okay, Sally, law enforcement needs to check these burn areas. Typically, like I said, I'm going based on reports that there was also a cadaver hit on a fertilizer pile. Is that correct, Sally? Yes, they did have a car, Amy, and I believe that a cadaver dog hit on the passenger side front of the car as well. So we know that we definitely know there was mode of transportation. So that's why I was saying that maybe the reason why they haven't found this little boy is because they think they're looking for an intact body. I'm recommending that law enforcement check any burn areas. Okay, anyone that's not certified or do not go anywhere near this or try to attempt it yourself. You find a burn spot or a place like a burn barrel, you contact the law enforcement right away and just make sure that wait there till they come out, because the method of doing this is they would literally have to take the matter and sift it for bone and teeth. But the fact that the child was really young and he just had teeth just forming, to be honest with you, I'm not really quite sure if that would be sustainable. But the way to prove it, if there's probably pulp inside the tooth that they could do a DNA analysis with. Yeah, Sally, I'm going to recommend, since I've been doing a lot more research and I'm actually sitting in my car, and I feel it that important that I wanted to go back on live, is I feel that they should be looking for any kind of burn pits or burn barrels. And like I said, anyone that knows about any areas like this in that area or the surrounding areas or come upon one, do not go near it, do not touch it. Just bring it to law enforcement's attention. I am going to reach out to them and give them my expertise as far as what I think could be helpful finding this little boy. And I know it's hurtful to hear what I'm saying, because I know if it was my child or my grandson or my granddaughter, I would be devastated to hear someone even implying that this may be it. But without you know how the way the laws work. Even though they charge him with manslaughter, doesn't mean that this little boy, you know, I think it's very possible that there was child abuse, you know, involved in this case, especially if there's drugs involved. And the fact that, you know, Division of Youth and Family Services removed this child 3 times and has placed the child back with the mother. Why wasn't there any drug monitoring or anything? She claimed she was at work. You were at work for 3 days? I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I do know the facts, and I do know that based off of what's being reported, it's BS. It's absolutely BS. And how many times have you seen a child being violated by someone's boyfriend that's not even the biological father of the child, and the mother chooses the man over the child? What's wrong with people? Seriously, what's wrong with people? If this mother has a soul or a heart, I don't care if she gets on here and cusses me out left and right. I do not know how she sleeps at night. You know, but then again, when drugs are involved, who knows? But my recommendation with this, does anyone have any more questions? Sally, are you saying that the baby did have some fully formed teeth? Yeah, Amy, you're right. There is something seriously wrong with the system, because I've seen Division Youth and Family Services literally remove a child from a home without any, you know, anything wrong whatsoever, and literally fully prosecute someone with no fake, you know, no bad urine, just over some weird, like, or some, you know, trifling person, and then, but yet they'll put a child back into a home where clearly the mother's boyfriend is doing drugs. I don't know about the mother. I have not, like I said, I had just got involved in this. I'm going to be doing some background checks. I'm curious to know if this mother has a drug history. Maybe someone can answer that question. Yeah, something seriously wrong with the system. And what's really sad in this case is this case is not going to go national, you know, but Missing America is going to try whatever we can to do to bring justice to this little boy. Sally, can you put a link under this video to his justice page for me? I'm literally sitting in my car. Thank you, Debbie. Nicole, what do you mean by, I'm sorry, honey, I said a lot of things. What do you mean by yes, he does? He had fully formed teeth come in? Nicole, are you referring to his teeth? Also, Debbie, one of our lead investigators in, in North Carolina, South Carolina, she's well versed in this as well. Okay, thank you, Nicole. Yes, by reports, the mother was a drug user, a known drug user. And from what her understanding was, is that she got out of rehab in February. Okay, you can add it when the live stream is done, Sally. I'm honored that so many people reached out to our page and say, we need someone good. We need someone that knows what they're talking about. It's nice to know that people appreciate what we do. We do work for free. And Missing America really cares about missing, regardless if it's, bringing a loved one home is hard. And, when we know that the person is deceased, it's important, still important for them to come home. And also it's imperative to also, if, it's very possible, I think you guys are looking for a burn area. Am I correct with saying that a cadaver dog hit on a fertilizer pile as well? After the live stream is done, you can add the link like you did to the other one. But I was driving in my car, sitting in horrendous traffic, just thinking and doing some research on this particular gentleman, especially when there's drugs involved, which sometimes creates psychosis. But I believe that the methods afterwards were, when you try to cover something up, what you're doing is wrong. What's yes at the college? What question are you answering at yes at the college? Are you talking about a burn barrel, burn pit, or what are you referring to? Yeah, and I think that's probably Nicole. It's probably. Does anyone remember around that time period when he went missing, if they ever saw a burn barrel burning or a burn pit burning? I mean, this could be a big clue. Yes, at the college. So you're saying that there was a fertilizer pit at the college? Oh my God, it just makes me want to throw up. Oh, a manure pile. Yeah. Well, you know what? That could be related and may not be related, just so you know that. It's not uncommon. A manure pile has a waste. Anyone that has a cadaver dog knows, even if it's with septic systems, sometimes you can get a false hit. Yeah, that's actually, I don't know if I want to roll that in or roll that out. It's very possible that they first put the baby there, in a panic because they thought maybe that it would, the decomposition smell would be masked by it. I'm just waiting for all, there's so many comments and so many stuff coming through. I'm having to read through them all. Yeah. Yeah, it's not uncommon for a cadaver dog to hit on a manure pile. But then again, if a person's trying to cover up a decomposition spell, that's probably the place that someone would put it, but I'd have to say that, you know, if that's the case in the actions of this gentleman is actually very highly intellectual. And I'm wondering how it possibly has an undiagnosed mental condition. And I know you don't want to hear that, but it's very possible that he has an undiagnosed. Most drugs addicts actually do, because they self-medicate. I know, I was married to one. I'm wondering if, how long was, can someone tell me how long this particular boyfriend was involved with the biological mother? Because this is really getting the factual information out there. But I think that, you know, you're talking about the 26th. We have to talk about, there might be more days after that before he was actually taken in, that he could have possibly disposed of his body. So if anyone seen around any of those times, but actually before he was arrested, if there's a fire or a fire pit, please call law enforcement and make them aware of it. Don't touch it. Don't go near the area. If you've seen one around that, around that time. Does anyone know what day he was arrested or taken into custody? And what day the mother was taken into custody in separate posts, please? He moved in over the summer. Were they involved prior to that? Debbie, the reason why I say a burn pile is, from what I understand, it's really, really cold in this area. And I believe is currently snowing, correct? Ground would have been too hard. Unreal. Do you know how long she knew this gentleman prior to them moving in the summer? Or what the reports were? I'd like to know what the last DIFUS report, or last time the child was taken away from her. I would really like to know if there was any allegations of the baby having bruises, because lots of times these boyfriends become babysitters, and unfortunately they don't. They do it because they need a place to stay, but yet lots of times the child becomes abused or neglected, especially when it comes to drugs involved. Yep. Exactly, Debbie. And Debbie just made a good point. Lots of times someone will also throw lime over a burn barrel or a burn area, or burn pit, as they call it. I don't know what you would call it in other places, or maybe there's different terms, but anything that you could that you look like something was burnt, please report it to law enforcement. Especially if you've seen someone or seen him, maybe someone in a store saw him buying lime or any kind of chemical. if he did try to dispose of this little boy by burning or a burn barrel, if he had teeth or he had formed teeth, they're gonna be able to find the teeth. You cannot burn teeth. Yeah, you're right, Debbie. Okay, so you don't know if this is like meet one week and then the next week they're moving in together. Mark doing is I'm wondering how well she knew this gentleman prior to. She has other children as well, correct? I sure hope, I sure hope that they removed all children in the home. If they didn't, then I as a citizen would have a huge problem with that. Yes, Debbie, they did search underneath the trailer. And like I expressed before too, to also look for turkey vulture activity is an other also possibility. And the reason why I say it would still be there because with cold, what do you say? What has the temperatures been around? Would really, really slow the decomposition process. Yeah, well, Sally, that's a thing that should be explored. Bingo. Okay. Yeah, but Nicole, refer to your last comment. I was told that that the biological father of the other child had seen this little boy within that time period and said that he had his face was, he clearly had injuries, and this biological father told her to take the child to the hospital but didn't do anything beyond that. I'd be wondering what time period that was, and why this mother is not in jail. Mother of the Year. Wow. Yeah, the fact that the cadaver dog hit in the car, you're not going to. I'd like to know, can someone tell me how far from the trailer the dumpster is that this dog hit on? Mm. Yeah, you're right, Nicole. She should be in jail. Yep. Bingo. Bingo, Debbie. We're just seeing too much of it. Just too much of it. I have to head off of here, guys. I did want to put that out there so that way the community can open their eyes and think back if they ever saw, something like that, or saw a fire somewhere around the area that should be addressed. Oh, that's a good question, Sally. How far is the trailer from the college? Does anyone know that question? About 3 miles? I'm going to say it's probably within 5 miles of the perimeter of the trailer, this fire. Who knows? It could have been a friend's house. A family member. Does any of his family members live in that area? Have a burn bear or burn pit? They probably wouldn't even know that it was there. Very good point, Debbie. Debbie is saying that also the areas that were searched the first time. Well, then again, we don't know when they started searching, Debbie. So, does anyone know when they started searching? Was it before or after the boyfriend was arrested? I gotta keep my glasses on, even though I look like Coke bottles. Does anyone know an answer to that question? They started searching after he was arrested? Okay. And when did the mother get out of jail? A couple days ago? Or a couple days after? Yeah, no, I know. I know that, Nicole. My question is, though, my recommendation and what Debbie is saying, that it's very possible that the mother knows where it is and what happened to him, and may have moved them to an area that was already searched. It's very, very common in a lot of cases. Search 101, search and recovery 101. Whenever you have a situation like this, I'm going to say research those areas. Also, Debbie makes a good point. Lots of times when there's persons involved, even we had a case out in North Carolina not too recent. Debbie will tell you about it. It was a little girl. And we worked with some of the search and rescue, and our recommendation was to, when they called off the search for a couple of days, and then they were told to research those areas. So they waited till everyone left, and then put the child's body where searchers already searched. So yeah, I'm going to say research the areas from the beginning. Even with the cadaver dog, go back to the trailer. Yeah. But it's very possible that the child was somewhere else and then replaced in an area that they already searched by the mother. She seems to want to protect this boyfriend, which I don't understand why, because he's going to jail for a long time. I don't know if it's worth it. Must be love. The fact that the blanket with his decomposition was thrown in a dumpster tells me we're looking for a little bit more sophistication than this. I'm going to say research areas. Go back from square one. Look for the burn pits and the burn barrels. In this area, do people burn their garbage? Do you know? I know, since I've moved into the areas, I've noticed like some areas, especially when you're in the country, people burn their garbage. Is that true there? Yeah, I know. Just because they released it doesn't mean they can't go back in at any time whether they have a search warrant. Just a little FYI. They can, they could always, always go back. But most people know that. So, if a lot of people burn the garbage in this area, who's to say that someone didn't put it in someone else's burn barrel? I'm going to say that all burn barrels should be thoroughly searched by law enforcement. Do not take it upon yourself. Do not go near anything. I'm going to make the recommendation to them, so I'm going to make my recommendations as far as what I think they should do. They can take it or leave it. But I think any help at this point would be, you would think that would be appreciated. I'm going to sign off, guys. Yeah, I know, Sally, it's very, the fact that the child was with this man most of the time, and mostly with him, I wonder if she has some kind of detachment. It's very possible. There might be some kind of underlying medical condition for both of them. Yeah, no, I know that there's four dumpsters, but the dump has been searched. I really can't say. I think I already said, but I don't know what was released from that or what was found. But I can say that possibly the decomposition hit in the dumpster was from cross transfer. They threw away the evidence in the dumpster, not the body. So they had a little bit of couth. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, we're going to head back. I would still call in any reports. Does that, since the family's on now, do they have a tip line? Also, for who's watching, also new, I did in my other video, Missing America is going to be taking 100% anonymous tips on our website, www.missingamerica.us. You don't have to give your name, you don't have to give your number, you don't have to give your email address, you don't have to talk to anybody. You just specifically submit anonymous tip, what the tip is. Make sure you add the missing person's name so we know what tip is referred to what person. anyone that has information, even if the mother's watching, I know that you're probably scared, or I'm not going to, begin to try to judge you, but you can go to our website, www.missingamerica.us. Do the right thing for your child. Tell us where he is so he could be treated with the love, care, and respect he deserves, and to give him the resting area he deserves. As a mother, as being a mother myself, I'm giving you that option. I'm giving anyone that knows where this little boy's body is, I'm giving you the option to go to our website, www.missingamerica.us. Anonymous tips, 100% anonymous. No phone number, no talk to anybody. All you have to do is just push on your computer or your phone the information that we need, or a tip that we need to where we can find him. And no one will ever know who you are. This is Nancy Schaefer, Missing Persons Recovery Specialist from Missing in America. Remember, guys, one thing that our president has taught me is to not judge and to not base, because we don't know people's situation and know what she's gone through, know what the situation is 100%. We're not in her shoes or anyone's shoes. I'm not saying that she's innocent. I'm not saying that she's guilty. All I'm saying is, let's not try to judge, even though it's hard not to when you're talking about a 13-month-old little boy. Here's your opportunity to do what's right. Signing off. Oh, hold on. You're welcome, Debbie. Yes, also Missing America wants to sends our prayer and all our help and assistance with this case. And I'm going to recommend that, where's Nancy Grace? Yeah. I love Nancy Grace, I have to be honest with you. I liked when she first started doing the stuff. It seemed like she really cared about the missing people. Now I don't know what's going on, but this case needs to go national. They need to put the pressure on, and if anyone has any information regarding this little boy, do the right thing, okay? Anonymous tips. Again, I'm going to reiterate, www.missinginamerica.us. 100% anonymous tips. You do not need to talk to anyone on the phone. You don't need to give your name. You don't need to give your email address. Just the missing person's name and then the tip, and that's it. Do the right thing. Remember, signing off now, finally, never stop searching. Thank you, guys.